I remember 4 years ago, I was looking up YouTube videos on how to make money as a high school or middle school student and with no money. And one of the things that almost always came up was coding. But now in 2025 actually, when you're looking at this, most people tell you that coding is dead, programmers are going to be replaced by AI, tons of stuff like that. But I actually very much disagree, but I also agree. And so I'll give you two concrete examples of how I'm using coding, my coding skills inside of my business right now, and why that is really of value. And I'll do that in just a few seconds, but I think it's important to understand why people say that coding is dead in 2025, where in 2019 they were saying the complete opposite. And so the main culprit of this is AI. But the main reason why people were saying that coding was the route to go in 2019 is simply because of AI. So you have two opposites there. But what I feel like is very important about knowing how to code, or at least knowing the basics, because I don't think I can code now because I've just stopped actually coding, but I know how to read code and understand where there might be mistakes, and I understand the basics of it. And I think this is very, very important, because if you do understand it, then, for example, and I'll get to my two examples, you will be able to understand where an error could lie, and since you understand, then you can tell AI, could the error be this, right? You suggest it to them, and then you rely on the AI to say yes or no, but you still point them into the right direction. And so here comes my two examples. I've been building softwares for the past week. And so the first software was an SMTP server that I built on my own. I have no knowledge about servers. I have no knowledge about any bash code or whatever. I don't understand shit, to be honest. I really don't. But the cool part is that I have Claude AI, or ChatGPT. And so all I have to do is say, okay, this is my situation, this is my goal, how do you bridge the gap? And so it'll give me steps, it'll give me tons of stuff, which I really don't understand. But when it comes to Python, when it comes to JavaScript and all of these languages, I sort of understand the basics, even though I don't understand what each type of method or function goes into it. I understand the main line. I hope you get what I mean. But the point of my point here is that I'm only able to build these softwares because I understand the basics of coding. And so the second example here is that I built my own warm-up tool and warm-up pool, again, without knowing anything about it, but now I understand servers a bit more, so I understand ports, firewalls, and stuff like that, which, it's a very, very, very high-level understanding. I really couldn't get into details with you, but the point here is that coding is, you're not going to leverage your actual coding skills in terms of knowledge through AI, but you're going to leverage your coding understanding, and I hope that's clear, but how you navigate problems, the problem solving skills, that you develop through coding, and so that allows you to be maybe 200 times more efficient than if you were to just code it yourself, because then you have the learning curve of actually learning how to code, and then if you run into an issue, then you're effed, but essentially that is it. I also feel like coding is not going to disappear in anytime soon, simply because, again, ChatGPT makes so many errors, and so you have to learn how to navigate through those errors and fix them. And they really do make a ton of errors, and I spent hours banging my head with OpenAI, ChatGPT, Claude AI, whatever you want, because there's some errors in the code that they did that I thought would work, and it didn't work, and so I had to prompt it like 15 times, give it tons of context and everything. But again, I would never be able to do what I'm doing, so building softwares, without AI. So it's normal that there's going to be drawbacks and problems and everything, and maybe in 10 years we might laugh at this and say like, oh, AI used to make errors, right? But for now it is still making errors, so you just have to bear with it and be smart in your approach, because in the end, I think that's what changes everything. It's not being consumed by AI, but learning to live with it. And so, for example, my coding brain has developed as I played with AI, but my actual coding skills have diminished because I'm not coding. I'm letting AI code for me. But I understand where problems might come far better than I used to before. So I hope this gives another point of view on what many people would say is useless, so coding, but I really don't think it's useless in learning that. And so yeah, if you are doing the same thing as me, feel free to send a message. Feel free to share what you're working on. I would be happy to reply, and I hope this helped.